to the Heikian channel. So today we're going to be doing summarizing data measures of center. So today's learning intention is to understand how to find the mean and median and to distinguish which one is appropriate in finding the center. Today's success criteria is that you can either or can complete all of them if you like. You need to be able to calculate the mean, find and calculate the median, and be able to identify the mode. So the big question is, what is the mean? So the mean is the average, and to find the average you need to add all the numbers together and divide them by the total amount of numbers. So for example, if we had, I'm just going to use the bottom values, if we had 1, 3, 5, 2, okay, and this was our data set. That's just a fancy word for the numbers. So I add them together, so 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2, which equals 4, 9, 11, okay, and all together you have 4 numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and you divide the total by 4, so that's the same as that. So then 11 divided by 4, which can give you a decimal, 2.75, and you can use your calculator for this unless specified by your teacher. So the next question is, what is the median? So the median is the middle of a data set, so you'll get a bunch of numbers and they may not be in order. So what you need to do is you need to put them in order from smallest to largest. That's the first thing you need to do to find the median. And then after you've put it from smallest to largest, you need to find the middle. So to find that, what you can do is, if you have an odd number of values, there's a set number. If there's an even number of values, we'll go into that. So an odd number of values, what you usually do is, once you've got it from smallest to largest, you can just cancel from outwards inwards. So you can go, I'm cancelling 1 on this side, so I cancel 1 on that side. I cancel 2 on this side, so I cancel 2 on this side, okay? And then you'll find out there'll be 1 number left if there's odd number. So altogether we've got 7 numbers in total. 7's an odd. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you have an even number of values, so this one would have 2, 4, 6, 8. This is 8, so 8's an even number. We've got 8 numbers in total. Okay, so if I start from cancelling from both ends, now this is from smallest to largest, like I said, you need to do that. So cancel 3 here, cancel 3 here. Okay, you'll find out that you'll have 2 that, if you cancel from this side, you're probably going to cancel that. So what you have to do is, I know it says 20.5, but how do I get that? What you do is you add the numbers up, so 20 plus 21, and you divide them by 2, because there's 2 numbers, 1, 2, all right? And that will give you 20.5, which is the median. So I've just written here, even data sets, you must add the 2 middle, these 2, and divide by 2 only, because there's no more than 2 numbers. Okay, now mean and median are used to identify the measure of center, and most of the time you'll get in your questions, which one is more appropriate to use, mean or median, why, but we'll get that, we'll discuss that further in the few coming weeks. So today we need to know how to identify what the mode is. So the mode is the most common number of value in a data set. Okay, so if there is more than one mode, we call that bimodal. Okay, there is possibility that there is no mode, so don't panic if you don't find an answer. So I'm just going to give you quick examples. So most common values, so if I had 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 1 would be the mode, because, well, we see 1 3 times, but we only see 2, 3, 4, 5 1 time. If I added 5, the mode would still be 1, because 1 has 3, we've got 3 of them, whereas 5, we've only got 2 of them. So it's the one that you see the most. Now, if it was this example here, so if I had 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, okay, our modes would be 1, 2, and 5, because all 3 of them have 2 sets of each. Now, if we had a set that looked like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 1 of each, so there's no mode. So you could literally say there no mode, or there is no mode. There is no mode. Okay, it's up to you what you want to do. So something that we'll talk about later in a few coming lessons is an outlier. So an outlier is a score, number, value that is substantially larger or smaller than the rest of the data, so it's obvious. Usually there's a formula for it, but I'm just going to quickly show you a quick example just so you know visually what I'm talking about. So let's say I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just going to use the same of 5. And then we had a number that was like, let's say 9,872. Okay, so if these was all our numbers, that's substantially not really close to that. So when we look at that, we'd be like, oh, that could be an outlier. Like, I'm not saying it is, because remembering to find an outlier, you actually need a formula, but that's just an example. Okay. So remembering you can pause the video at any time and go back if I'm going too quick, and you need to copy down the notes. So we're going to do a first example with working with the 3 M's. So that's mean, median, and mode. So if we have a look, I've written in question 1, for the given data sets, find the following. So mean, so this is the data set here, 4, 8, 10, 2, 3, 6, 2. So to find the mean, you need to add the numbers up. So I've just added it, given the total. Then you need to divide that number, so 35, by the total amount of numbers. So in total, there are 7 numbers here. All right, so 35, which is the amount we got added, divided by 7 equals 5. So then we just write, therefore, the mean is 5. And I couldn't actually find the therefore sign, so we're just sticking with my pen giving you the divide. Now, I've just highlighted in blue the instructions to calculate the steps. White is the working out, and yellow is the question. So to find the mean, okay, so that's the mean. That's mean. So to find the median, you need to write the numbers in order from lowest to smallest. So here they usually, like 9 out of 10 times, they give it to you random. You need to order it from smallest. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Lowest. You should have said it from smallest to largest. It's just a bit of a typo. So I've just copied that down here and just rearranged it. So now this in white is smallest to largest. So now you need to cancel the numbers outwards to inwards. So if I cancel 2 here, I cancel 2 here. So 2 from the left, cancel 2 to the right, cancel 1 here, cancel 1 here. So we can see that the median's 4. Okay, you always must have 1 left. Now remembering going back to the example at the start, okay, so that was an odd number of values. That's how I got 4. If we had 2, you need to add them together and divide them by 2, because there's 2 numbers and you are most likely going to get a decimal. So therefore the median is 4. Now when you write the mode, you need to look at the numbers or the data set and see if there is a number repeated. So here we can see, there's 2 2s here. I just copied that data set, I rearranged. It's actually easier to use than just looking at the data set they originally give you that's all jumbled up. Most of the time when you rearrange them, you have to put the same numbers together. So you know how there's 2 2s, you put them together. You wouldn't put like a 2 over here because, 2s, are the lowest in this data set. So here we can see that the mode is 2 because, 2 is repeated twice, but everything else is repeated once. So we know that the mode is 2. So now we're going to try it again with a different number set with double digits. So before we were doing mostly single digits, now we're going to do it from double digits. And I've actually just copied that from the other slide. So you're just going to have to change that in your workbooks from smallest to largest. Okay, so this is the data set. First thing you need to do is add the numbers up. So the numbers will give you 136. Then you need to divide that number by the total amount of numbers. So 136 divided by 8, which is 17. Okay, and so therefore the mean is 17. So to find the median, you need to write the numbers in order from smallest to largest. So I've just copied that down there. You won't need to do that in your working out. I'm just showing you visually where I'm getting the numbers from. So I've rearranged it all, and most of the time when you do rearrange it, I suggest that you kind of cross it out. So I've written 12, cross out 12. I've written 13, cross out 13, because chances are you might have missed a number somewhere here and you're going to have to add it in here. And this is why I recommend that you use pencil in math, just so that you can erase it rather than whiting it out or crossing it out and it gets messy in pen. So once you've rearranged it and done that step, you need to cancel the numbers outwards to inwards. So that means you have to, cross out 2 here. You're trying to find the middle. Median means middle, yeah, middle number. So if I cancel 2 there, cancel 1, cancel 1. Now here we can see that our median is left over with 2 numbers. So we add them together, so 16 plus 17, which is 33. And we have to divide that by 2 because there's 2 numbers, which is 16 and 17. So 33 divided by 2 is 16 and a half. So now we write, therefore, the median is 16 and a half. Okay, and that's it. So now we've got the median and now we've got the mean. Mean and median. So now we're looking at the mode. So now we look to see if there's any repeated numbers, and I can see that all the numbers are only mentioned once, therefore there is no mode. So now we're going to do a quick worded problem just so that you're able to see how statistics can be used and identified with words. So the question is, the amount of money a teenager earned in her last 6 babysitting appointments is as follows: 15, 25, 35, 18, 20, $25. So as you can already tell, that's not in order from smallest to largest. So if the question was going to ask me to calculate the median, I would straight away know I have to rearrange that. So the first question is calculate the mean. So the mean, you need to add it all together. So I've added all those numbers there. It's 138. Now you don't have to put the dollar sign there. Remembering this is working out, it's more so that your final answer needs to have dollars. So once you've got 138, you need to divide the 138 by 6 because there's 6 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you'll get 23. Now that's not necessarily the right answer because you actually need to include the dollar sign. So you write mean is $23 to get your mark. Okay, now if it was 23 cars, 23 cards, 23 kites, okay, that's what you have to write. So part B, how much would the teenager need to earn on the next babysitting appointment for the mean to equal $25? Let the babysitting appointment equal A, and I've just let it equal anything. You could honestly have given it X or B or M, anything. I've just given A. So this was actually meant to be all the way over here, but I had a bit of difficulties. So this fraction here is how you work it out. So you put in the mean, okay? You put in the mean plus the letter you've given them, and then you put the number of values, so number of values in data set, which is 6, because we've got 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in data set, okay, plus 1, because you're looking for the next one, okay, that it says for the next babysitting, so this one's where the plus 1 comes from, okay, equals, that equals comes from the fact the question wants you to equal that. Okay, so that's the equation of how I got that, all right? So it's good to keep this in mind if you want to find future data sets. So now that you do it, you have to use a bit of algebra and your ability to calculate the unknown. So 138 plus A over 7, because 6 plus 1 is 7. I've just written it down here. So if we go here, that's the next step. Now to get rid of 7, you need to multiply both sides by 7. All right, so here I've just gotten rid of it and I've just times this by 7. So 25 times 7 is 175, and I've just copied that one down. So now I need to move 138 across. Okay, you can't put it before 175 because, like I've said previously, the first house stays on the street, the second one moves in, he comes after. So 175 minus 138. Now it's a minus because there's a sign in front of 138, which is plus, because if it was minus, well, I'd see the minus sign. So when it goes over the equal sign, it changes to the opposite, which is minus. So that equals 7. So that is not necessarily the right answer because the question isn't asking you to find A. You've just given it A. You need to say, therefore, I just couldn't find therefore, so I wrote therefore. The teenager would have to earn $37 for her next babysitting appointment for the mean to equal $25. Okay, so worded problem equals worded answer. That's what you need to remember. Okay, a worded problem requires a worded answer. All right, so I just want to say that's all in regards to today's lesson. So if you have any questions, just make sure that you ask your teacher any problems with your homework. And thank you so much for watching today's video.